Hey everyone. Welcome to another episode of Ironis Insights. I got another guest here, Mike Rizzo, the founder and CEO of MarketingOps. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having me, Alex. I appreciate you inviting me on.
Yeah, where are you calling from?
I'm in Southern California in Orange County. So just like South OC area, about an hour either direction from San Diego or LA, depending on which direction you go, and depending on traffic.
Yeah, beautiful. Traffic's always a little slow there. It's not too much better in New York though, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
The
totally.
weather is definitely better though. Right now it's not nice. It is not great. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But I appreciate you hopping on. Excited to chat with you. Why don't you give us a little bit, about your background and how you got to where you are today with marketing ops?
Sure, sure. Yeah, yeah. Happy to share. I'll take you way back. I knew I wanted to be a marketer since I was about, let's call it 10 years old, which is a bit strange, I'm sure. But I had an idea for a commercial, and someone said, "Oh, that's marketing." And
Uh-huh.
come to find out, I'm not really that kind of marketer. I'm not that like creative, like that form of creative marketer. I've got ideas, but I probably couldn't come up with enough to be a creative agency. But over time, I went and graduated with a business marketing degree and found myself at a ad tech company where I learned a lot about retargeting and advertising on websites. I was like coding some ads to go onto our ad server so they could show up on web pages all over, all over the world. And what that did is it gave me sort of an affinity and appreciation for just code and how things work, and I wasn't as scared of it. And so I endeavored to go learn a little bit more about doing email marketing and building emails and websites. And what that eventually turned into was a role at a what is now known as a SaaS company,
Yeah.
helping them do B2B marketing, email marketing and automation, and then some field marketing because that was the best way we could generate leads for the business was showing up at a conference and having a booth and all those things. And so eventually I found myself in a role at another SaaS company, establishing integrations between tools like HubSpot and Salesforce, going to these conferences, capturing the leads, putting them into our system, and really doing like full stack go to market ops. And I fell in love with it. And over time, really what happens when you're in that kind of a function, more often than not, at least in the early days, you were often a team of one and really nobody has any idea what the heck you're doing or what you're dealing with. And so as I endeavored to bring in my colleagues into my situation, a lot of them, their eyes would roll back in their head. They'd be I don't know what you're saying right now. The integrations, what MQLs, like what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And so I started a little thing on this tool called Slack, which we're all quite familiar with these days. And it was just a channel for every time I was at those conferences, meeting other people that did what I did. I said, hey, if you want to talk shop, there's this thing, it's Slack, we can all hang out. Doesn't really matter what tool you use. Wrote a blog post about it. Fast forward to 2019, and we had 110 people a month joining. And I was like, whoa, like let's make this a valuable space for people.
So you
And
started a
so I
community
really
essentially.
yeah, exactly. And so ultimately it grew into a community. So marketingops.com today is a B2B focused community for practitioners that are either current or aspiring B2B marketing operations and go-to-market ops professionals. And we sit there and trade stories and learn and shorten the learning curve of what it takes to do this stuff. And I will tell you that is a wonderful tool to have in your back pocket, not just for like learning things, but your career growth too. Usually, like I said before, it was like you're kind of stumbling and fumbling your way through this stuff, Googling to figure things out. And now you've got 3,500 people in a channel that you can ask. It's pretty awesome. So it's a lot of fun. But yeah, that's how it came to be. I went through this journey of learning tech and marketing and felt tired of being alone, and then a bunch of people started showing up and I was like, great, now what do we do? And eventually we became marketingops.com. So
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
cutting through a lot of noise, obviously.
It's yeah, it's of course it's never such a straight line, right? But
Yeah,
but I
this is
mean,
years of building.
of course,
So,
yeah. And wearing many hats on your own and trying to figure out like where you fit in this space, especially something evolving like you said wasn't even called SaaS when you were doing it, right?
yeah.
And so you're basically an educational uh, resource for individuals now.
Yeah, individuals and teams, anybody who's using modern marketing technology,
Hmm.
particularly in B2B, is probably the most common. I
Yeah,
will say we've got people who work at companies that are B2C, right? Like Ford and I don't, you name it. There's a whole bunch of them.
yeah,
There's like hotel brands and hospitality brands. There's people that are in our community that are doing what would be called like sort of life cycle marketing. And so there's some B2C stuff. But basically, the sort of name of the game is modern marketing doesn't happen without technology.
yeah,
And if you're using these tools and you're interested on how to optimize them, find new and innovative ways to reach your audience and build orchestration across your system so that your marketing and sales team can work in tandem, this is an audience where you can come and talk and ask them questions very specifically about tools you're evaluating or tools you currently have. And then, yeah, over time, marketingops.com is looking to be, if you're familiar with like the Project Management Institute and the Project Management Professional certification, that's a very well respected certification just in any industry, really, if you're a PMP professional.
hmm,
We aspire to become a certification body for this vocation. And so we actually have three different levels of certification we're sort of putting out into the world. And level one is coming in the next, I don't know, handful of weeks here.
oh wow, so you're just launching this.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. So we already sold like the first 100 seats
Nice.
to the first cohort, and there's another 100 plus people on the wait list. They're really excited about it. It's the first certification for our field that's like agnostic of a specific tool. Because you can get HubSpot certified, like that's fine. But
Sure.
like, at its core, like what does it mean to do this job has never really been established, and we've got a great community to back it. And so, over the last whatever 5 6 years, we've been working really hard to define that, and that's what we're doing today. Is we're going to
That's
help get people
fantastic.
certified.
So are you, is it going to be online or is it going to be at a specific venue in person?
It'll be online. Yeah, we're going to do on-demand lessons that you get to take.
Uh-huh.
There will be a practicum that you can finish to show that you've really learned the things.
Sure.
And then because as we've all seen, the landscape is constantly evolving.
Yeah.
For your audience out there, if you've never looked at the martech landscape super graphic, it is full of literally 10,000, like 13, 14, 15,000 tools now.
Yeah.
When I got started, it was like 300 tools,
Hmm.
right? And so, the landscape's evolving. And so, if you get certified, what we are going to do is make it, you can maintain your certification by being involved in the community, being involved in our educational resources, the webinars, and then our conference. If you come to the conference, you can sort of maintain that certification through those things. So, yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like an on continued education, if you will.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And it's just like it's really just like staying up with the times, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It'll be too hard for us to completely change the curriculum every 3 months, right? So,
Exactly. Yeah, you just kind of have to keep going with the flow as things change and adapt with them.
yeah, exactly.
I think
So,
that's
yeah, we're
so
really
important.
excited.
Education is something I constantly am speaking to guests about,
Yeah,
and whether it's a client of yours or someone that is actually in the SaaS space themselves that is just looking to learn these new tools. I mean, your company does a lot what Ironis does, and which is simplifying things with automation and using AI tools, right? And just
yeah,
making things more efficient, creating workflows, making things cohesive. It really, I mean, there's so, like you said, I mean, I think there's 50,000 tools out there now,
yeah,
somewhere, right? A lot of them are
yeah.
junk, but there's a lot of them out there. And how do you pick which one, and how do you navigate that area? Can be completely overwhelming. So I think what you're doing has a lot of merit and it makes a lot of sense. So, well, first, congrats, because it seems like you've been working on this for a long time. Uh,
Yeah, we
uh,
have, and thank you. Yeah, it's been a
yeah,
lot, but
that's very
well
exciting.
received.
So you're gonna do three tiers. So you're gonna do tier one, and
Yeah,
can you explain the difference?
sure. Yeah, yeah. So tier one is just like a certified marketing operations professional. And so really what this establishes is some of the core principles of just sort of the modern frameworks you need to understand. Again, tech agnostic, right? I'm not going to sit there and teach you HubSpot or Salesforce or Pardot or Marketo or any of these other solutions. Instead, what we're going to talk about is some of the sort of like mile wide, inch deep concepts that you need to be aware of.
Mm.
In B2B, those things are top of funnel marketing tactics, field marketing, campaign operations, ABM, SEM, SEO, all of these things that you just need to sort of be aware of.
Mhm.
Because if you understand those market motions enough, you can then start to learn, okay, well, the business has a desire to do these types of things, and I need to go find solutions that enable those capabilities. And your job is to create an enablement infrastructure for their business goals, right? And so we're going to teach you some of the fundamentals around that, teach you some fundamentals around project management and resource management for managing sort of like an intake process so you don't get overwhelmed. And then we're actually going to go down a different direction. We're going to start to introduce the concept of product management. Now,
Mhm.
my argument to the market is that a marketing operations professional, while they happen to be very good at doing things like automating email campaigns and nurtures, ultimately they're product managers.
Mhm.
And their product is made up of lots of tools. And their job is to figure out how to translate the language of the business and its desires to the capabilities of the solutions in the market, which means you need to understand how to run your tech stack like a product. So we're going to start to teach you a little bit about product management, and
Mhm.
then we're going to give you some foundations of finance. Because if you can't translate what you're investing in into some of the language that your finance team understands, you're going to have a hard time getting them to buy in and sign off on the solutions that you need. And then as you go up in the next two layers, we're going to go deeper into becoming a certified go-to-market product manager, which is the level two. And the level three is the certified go-to-market product architect. And so this is really somebody who, at the end of the day, an executive team or a board can turn to and say, hey, I need someone to be in charge of our go-to-market tech stack. Because today, if you ask that question, it'll be met with crickets, and literally nobody is, right? There's like sales has sales, marketing has marketing, customer success has customer success. They all kind of own their own little pieces, but
Mhm.
nobody's really sitting there trying to understand the architecture of how it serves the business and its goals. And so that's really what we're striving towards. Is level two is go-to-market product manager, level three is go-to-market product architect.
Yeah, no, interesting. No, that's I mean that's fascinating. So how long has your company been active? I mean, since you started that Slack channel, right? And
Yeah.
up to now. I mean, it just seems like you put so much thought and time and energy into this. I mean, to come up with all of this, it just seems like it seems like it must have taken a long time. So I
Yeah. No, it's a fair question. Look, the Slack channel started in 2017,
uh-huh.
but it certainly wasn't doing anywhere near like what it does today. We had probably 30 people in there
Yeah.
within the first 2 years, right? But really, the focus of everything that we've been working on started in probably like 2020.
Yeah.
So it's been about, we're coming up on 6 years now of working on all of these things.
Hmm.
Um, I opened the very first, what we referred to as summer camps. These were like 50-person meetups for a day and a half, 2 days. And we would just have one person in a room guiding a discussion about what's going on in the landscape of technology and marketing. And I would always open those events with, what does it take to be a certified professional? And initially it was met with like, no, it's not possible. And so it's been a long time coming, but it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. I would say about a year and a half ago. I was like, a lot of us do a lot of our best thinking in the shower, and I was just like,
Yeah.
getting ready for the day, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. Like it's finance, it's product, it's technology. Like
Yeah.
these are all of these things that we need to smash together. We're not inventing something new.
Hmm.
We're trying to explain that the challenge of being a really good technologist in what comes out of marketing operations is really about adapting all of these things that already exist into sort of a new thing. And that new thing is what I just explained a moment ago, right? But
It's interconnectivity,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's really what it is. It's becoming that well-oiled machine that is efficient, and it
yeah,
allows what it
exactly.
does is, and to explain it to the C-suite, right? Which or the finance or the CFO or whoever whoever it is, you need to explain to them how it saves them money, right? Well, it's simple. It's saving money by allowing the people that are working at your company to do the job that not only they want to do and they're
Yeah.
good at, it's removing those redundant, tedious tasks with this workflow, with this tool, whatever it may be, right? And
Yeah,
that is saving you
exactly.
money.
Yeah, exactly. It saves you money. It allows them to be exponentially sort of more capable, right? In the context of sort of optimizing workflows. Like I know you all spend a lot of time thinking about this stuff, right? We certainly are not, again, like we're a community of practitioners, so like this is a space to just learn from everybody. But for me, I sat down the other day and I was like, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to hire somebody to do some like membership sales stuff, right? Like
Hmm.
I know there's people in my database. Like you can imagine your listeners, your viewers, they're like, I know there's people in my network that want to buy the thing that I sell. And so I said, all right, I'm going to work with my AI thought partner. Worked really
Hmm.
hard on building out a whole great system inside of my Claude project. And it knows everything about our business, the research we've done for years, all this stuff. I said, hey, I really want to work on creating a playbook to go hire an SDR, a sales development representative, to go
Yep.
focus on membership.
Hmm.
Fast forward, I do this great work, message it to my friend. He goes, why are you doing that? Why wouldn't you just use an agent to do this, right? Like do AI first. I was like, oh, okay. So I pivot everything to an AI model.
Hmm.
Great. Here's what happened. Okay. Claude Cowork is pointed at my folder. It does everything. Right?
Yep.
It goes through my whole HubSpot, scrapes the database, finds like 10 or so qualified people, writes them perfect, like, personalized emails, each individual unique to them, and drafts them in my inbox. Sounds like a dream, right, Alex?
Hmm.
Like, okay, great. I got 10 emails. I'm gonna freaking hit send. So I did. And then here's the next part.
Uh-huh.
I realized that while I might be able to do something like run a cron job, which is like a scheduled job for this thing to happen every day at 9 a.m. and put these emails in my inbox, I still got to review them.
Hmm.
And then I realized that after that, I actually don't have time to optimize this little product that I built.
Hmm.
Right? I'm doing a million and one other things. Like while it is doing something exponentially better and saving me a ton of time, like there's no way I could personalize 10 emails every day
Yeah.
and find the right people, right?
Right.
I just couldn't do that. But I've created a system that, you know what? I actually need to hand this over to somebody else.
Yeah.
So I still need a person because
Yeah.
their job should be to optimize that workflow. And so to the point you were just making about like saving money and optimizing process and stuff like that, your CFO is going to go, great. This is all fine and well, but like why do you need a person? And the answer is that you've created a mini product that needs continuous optimization to serve the business.
1000%. I couldn't agree with you more. And it's something that a lot of folks will ask me, friends on the street, colleagues, coworkers, whoever it may be, well, what do you think about this AI stuff? Like, are we gonna all lose our jobs? And I said, what you need to do is learn it.
Yeah.
Learn it, and then you will have job security. Because I'll tell you right now, at least right now, there needs to be a human to check this. It's great, right? It's great. They can draft a great email. I guarantee you there's something in there that you're like, ooh, yeah, I don't know if I want to put that, phrase it like that. Or especially when you start getting into the drip campaigns and the automated responses, it gets a little hairy. So, I mean,
Hmm.
they can draft it for you and yep, find the right people and do all that work for you, but you still need that human not only to continue to update that product like you said that you built out beautifully, but to check it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And you give them a job, right? Like you
Yeah.
give them a job, you say, hey, you know what? New person, your job now is you're in charge of membership sales, and I built this little tool and I want you to keep building on it. And then I want you to create more optimizations and add more emails and figure out, and then like have the AI go, look, did that person respond ever? Like, did they actually sign up? Is this working? Like, I don't have the time for the rest of the follow through, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, appreciate
Yeah,
the
no,
call.
it's a lot. It's a lot. So I mean, it seems like a lot of these things are working for you. You have a nice plan set. What if you could change anything right now in the industry or at your company? What would wave a magic wand and fix it? What would you fix? What would you change?
I don't know. I don't know. I
It's a
think
loaded question.
yeah, it's tough. I think if I could, um, I would fix that the folks that work on our team have done kind of what you were talking about, like taking the time to learn how to best leverage these AI solutions to make them go faster.
Yeah.
It is we just hosted a dinner on Tuesday and then last night in Atlanta. So Tuesday, San Francisco, one in Atlanta last night, and they're all around AI and go to market and marketing ops and technology. And the long and the short of the conversation is that it's just a new way of thinking.
Hmm.
People really, the human imagination is absolutely the unlock for your ability to go faster and further. And you need to like stop relying on AI in a way that you think it's just going to be able to do the whole thing. What you need to do is start talking to it like, give me ideas.
Hmm.
I've given you access to information. What else could I be thinking about? And you'll find yourself going down new paths, but you have to allow your imagination to sort of open up. We're all very used to being given a job to be done, and then you just kind of do the job and you log off for the day. You really like to wave a magic wand and get everybody to start thinking like little mini business owners and entrepreneurs, that your brain sort of has to open up a little bit more beyond the like, my job today is to send 5 emails or whatever your day
Right.
is.
Yeah. No, exactly. It's not as systematic, and it's not just so straightforward. And,
Yeah,
and I think you really nailed it. It's just like you got to use these tools to the fullest extent and ask the right questions. And it's
yeah,
only as good as the input you give it, right? So
yeah,
you have to give it clean information, a lot of great info. So it has a nice structure when you're building out this product, and then asking the right questions and testing it. Go further, you know? Um,
yep.
well, and that's really how you can, maximize the benefit of these tools, which is that's yeah. So I like that. It's another, if you will, education. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just learning,
absolutely.
right? It's just learning and adapting to how to use these new tools.
Absolutely. And it's really hard to keep up with like, there's new models being released in every single one of the
I know.
dang AI platforms, and I'm like, I don't know like if somebody said, "Hey, which model's for what?" I'd be like, I have no idea, man. I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm just doing what I can to try to use them to my advantage and figure out what workflow works for me. But the important thing is I'm taking the time to try to do it, right? Um, and so, but
Yeah.
you, on the other hand, I know you're spending a lot more time just like listening to somebody's problem and going, let me go fix this for you.
Well, it's like
Right?
it's
So,
my favorite thing, and I my background is in real estate in the commercial world, and it's such a dog of an industry, and I just saw so many inefficiencies like immediately, and
yeah.
it kind of started when I was 10 as well.
Nice.
I was very young, and or maybe 12, I don't know, but I was just like, there's got to be a better way to do that,
Yeah.
and I would see all these manual tasks, and I was born in 1990, right? So I grew up where like we were just phasing out like balancing a checkbook and all these different things, and we're learning personal finance, but
Yeah.
and I was just like, we could do this with a computer, like that,
Yeah.
we can do, and so I was kind of a computer geek back, and so then fast forward to especially these larger corporations that have just been doing the same thing. This is how we've always done it, type of thing, and
Yeah.
there's just so many inefficiencies out there. So yeah, I'm trying to get the word out. That's why I'm having guests like you on here, and it turns out there's a very big market for trying to become more
There
efficient.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. I had one of our dinner guests, she shared with me that her entire team, they're like in a healthcare sector. They're just totally fighting hard against the new wave,
Mm.
and she's just like, I don't know how to guide them or what I was, I'm like, ah, yeah, well, you're gonna have to put some systems in place to show like just how inefficient you are,
Yeah.
and then try to do something to crack that nut. But yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all about education, man.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the education's tough, and with folks like that, you really need to start small, simple as you can get.
Yeah,
About just even if it's just using something like a chat GPT to clean up an email for you, right? Like explain that little tool, how much time
yeah,
that could save you, um, and
exactly.
then build off of that. but
Yeah, yeah, go
but
from there.
it's sometimes it's baby steps.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Listen, I want to thank you so much for your time. I know you're extremely busy, Mike, but I really enjoyed our quick chat here.
Yeah,
Where
same.
can the listeners find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm Mike D as in David Rizzo, Rizzo. That's my handle there. So, find me on LinkedIn. Come visit us at marketingops.com. Pretty easy to spell that out.
Yeah, awesome. I'll put it
Check out the community, all
below
that
the
stuff.
video here just in case. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the two places I think. And usually I show up at industry conferences too. So if you happen to go to any of the Inbound or Adobe Summit or B2BMX or these places, like I'll often be there too. But online is probably the easiest.
Amazing. Well, thanks so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, all right?
All right, thanks, Alex. You too.
Thanks.